Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Clocksyn, and today we'll be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile of my 2020 Code Talker Cybers deck. Okay, this is a deck I've been using for the past few months, and I just want to show you guys my version of it. It's a 52 card deck, so yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to start with the monster. Since this is a Code Talker deck, we're going to obviously go staple 3 micro coders. Of course, this is the best card in the deck in my opinion. It says here it's a level 1, okay, Dark Cybers. If a Cybers monster you control will be used as a link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can also be used as a material, which means you can link this away from your hand. So you got a link 2 on the field, you need to go to a link 3, you can use this from your hand and the link 2 as long as you're link summoning a Code Talker. And if you do that, if you succeed in the summon, you get to add 1 Sidnet spell trap card from your deck to your hand. If you use it from the field, you get to add a level 4 Cybers monster from your deck to your hand. So very versatile, 3 for sure. Next up we have 3 Parallel Exceed. This card is very nice because every time you link summon a monster, if this card's in your hand, you can spell summon this card and it becomes level 4. So easy target for Firewall Exceed, Dragon, very good card. You can be used in any deck actually, but 3 is a staple for me. It's Code Talkers. So, just my opinion though. Next up, we're done with the 3s actually, so we're going on to the 2s. 2 Clock Wyvern. This is really a versatile card. You normal summon it or special summon it. It gives it generated token for you. Level 4 Wind Cybers. 1800 attacks. That's really good. But, yeah. So next up, 2 Backup Secretary. This is a free special and very important because it's a light target. So when you're summoning Code Talkers, you want to pay attention to the attribute because that's going to kick off your Sign It Out device, which is obviously in the deck. And this is a target that I search out a lot because it's a free special. It says as long as you control a Cybers monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn though. Once per turn. Next up we have, I know this is weird, but we only have 2 Lady Debug in this deck. We actually don't need 3 for this deck. So you can run 3 because it's at 3 now, but I only run 2. So 2 Lady Debug. We all know what this does. If this is a normal or special summon, you can add a level 3 or lower Cybers monster from your deck to your hand. Normally your target would be, obviously it would be the microcoder. You would summon this, search this out, go into a link 2, add the Synets, and just go off. So yeah, 2 of these. Next up we have 2 Code Generator. This card is very, very versatile because when you use this card to link summon, you actually, what this does is, you can obviously do the same thing as the microcoder. You can link summon this from your hand, but when this hits the grave, after you link summon, you get to send a Cybers monster that has 1200 or less attack points from your deck to your graveyard. So, very versatile card because certain cards trigger when they hit the grave. So, very good extender. It's an Earth target, level 3. 1300 attack points, really good. And if you use it from the field, you can add that card to your hand instead. Sometimes people like to ash my microcoder, so I'll normal summon this, link it to a Code Talker, and then search out the microcoder again and just go off. So very good card. 2. You can run that 3 if you want to, but I run that 2. Next up, 2 Balance Lord, very good, especially if you banish him. He gets to let you special summon a Cybers monster from your hand. Very, very good. Level 4, light target as well. And if you normal summon him, you can pay 1,000 life points. I'm sorry, you can normal or special summon him, it doesn't matter. It's on field effect. Pay 1,000 life points, and during your main phase, you can normal summon again another Cybers monster. So really good for startup plays. Last 2 of the monsters is Prohibit Snake. Very good. I love how Playmaker uses this in the anime. It's very, very, very good card. People underestimate this card so much. It's like a Firewall Dragon pretty much in hand. It says here, if at the start of the damage step, if your Cyberus Link monster battles an opponent's monster, so that could be if I'm attacking them or if they're attacking me, I can send this card to the graveyard and return the attacking monster to the hand. No targeting, no nothing. Returns to the hand. Very, very broken. And if I destroy one of their monsters with my Cyberus monster, I can banish any card from my graveyard and add a Cyberus monster back to a level 4 lower Cyberus monster back to from my graveyard to my hand. So this card can be recycled. So you pitch to the grave, turn his monster to the deck, and then you destroy one of his monsters, banish a spell or something, get it right back to your hand. So very good card. 2. I recommend 2 all the time in any Cyberus deck. 2 of these for sure. Okay, on to the one-offs. By the way, guys, it's the 52 card deck. So if you're liking the video so far, make sure you hit the like button. And yeah, let's get to it. So, one-offs. Rom Claudia. Very good card. Yeah, this is my savior because people love to ash this because when you normal summon it, it says here you can target one Cyberus monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. The reason why it's so good is because it doesn't say a level, so you can recycle your links. So if you use transcode and then you ash it or something and you need to start up your old combos again, you can use this to recycle all your stuff. You can bring back everything with this. Very, very good card. Next up, Defcon Bird. You pitch a Cyberus to the grave to special summon this. Second effect is whatever. Just doubles your attack and defense. This is good if you have a Link monster on the field that has low attack points. This Defcon Bird protects a Link, but other than that, I only ever use it for a special. But it's pretty good. Grid Sweeper. I rarely use this card, but it's been coming in handy every once in a while. It's a light target, so it's good. And I don't run a field spell in this deck, and this card says if you control a field spell, if there's a field spell on the field, you can special summon this card. So if your opponent has one, you can just pitch it to the field. But what makes it so good is that it's a non-target destroy. So you can banish a Link monster from your field, and then banish this card and destroy one card on the field. So if you spell trap anything, and it's not targeting. So you want to have a lot of options with this deck, which is why this card is really good. Next up, D-Grenade Buster. I love this guy. I've used him since day one. You banish one Cyberus monster from your graveyard. Two Cyberus monsters from your graveyard. Special summon this guy. And if there's a monster on the field that has higher attack than him, you could quick effect target that monster and banish it into the end phase. This guy has saved me out of so many troubles. So very good card. One copy. One copy of the new Armed Bitron. Very, very good. This card can swap out for any Cyberus monster in your entire deck. So you can tribute this card, special summon one Cyberus monster from your deck, but it negates the effect. So what you do is, if you don't have microcoder in your hand, which is the key to start off, you summon this guy, tribute him off, special summon microcoder, and then when you link a microcoder away, the grave effect still activates because it's only negated on the field. So you still have the grave effect, so you still get to search. So this is like the key card. Very, very good card. And if a Link 3 or higher Link monster you control is destroyed, you can special summon this card back from the graveyard. So really good. X1, swap Cleric. Just another Earth target. You don't want to run out of attribute targets when you're doing your combos. So yeah, if this card is sent to the graveyard as a Link material, you can have the monster used for the Link material, lose 500 attack points, draw once. Next up, we have Firewall Guardian. Very good card to start off with because if it's a low 4 dark target. If this card is sent to the graveyard for a Link summon of a Cyberus monster, you can special summon it again. But after that, it's banished. So obviously, like if you guys remember in the anime, Playmaker used this card for a Link summon, and then afterwards he exceed summoned with it, so it didn't hit the banish zone. Very good card. And the second effect, which is very, very underrated here, says if you attack a Link monster with your Link monster, you can banish this card, negate the attack, and if you do, until the end of the turn, the original attack of the opponent's monster becomes 0. Also, it is unaffected by other card effects except its own. So, very good card. You gotta be smart on how to use that effect. It's a very good card. It's a very good baiter too. Almost done with the one-offs. We have 4-month Skipper, 1 copy. This searches out all the big levels in your deck. So if you need Parallel Exceed, you summon this guy, link him away for Link Kareem or whatever, add Parallel Exceed, go off combos. You might need D-Grenade Buster at the moment, you summon this guy. And the reason why this is such a good target because it's level 1, so We do run one copy of 1-for-1 in the deck, so this is always a possible target. The second effect I've never ever used. You can treat this card as a different name, so but I'll never use that effect. So yeah. Lake Infra Flyer, just an easy special. Dotscaper, very useful card. I dump this card with Code Generator. So as soon as it hits the grave, it special summons itself again, and then on the next following turn, if you banish this card, it special summons again. So I use this with Code Generator, and I also use it with Degradate Buster because this is one of the targets that I banish. So it's just a free special. Cross Debug. No one uses this card for some reason. I love it. It's a free special if you control 2 Link monsters, and if your Link monster is attacking, you can banish this card. Quick effect. Target 1 Link monster in your graveyard, and then the Link monster that's attacking gains that attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle. So this card is so useful. And it's an easy target to search from Lady Debug. So yeah, 1 copy Cross Debug, 1 copy of Widget Kid. This card is normal or special summon. You can special summon any Cyrus monster from your hand in defense position. Earth target, very good. I would recommend running 2 of him if you want to, but I only need 1. Sea Archiver, good target because it's water. Not that many water targets in the deck, so this is a very good card. If any monster is normal or special summoned to a zone a Link monster points to, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. So very easy special. But after that, it is banished. So if you want to run the level 3 rank monster in the deck, you can, but I don't. Another one-off Flame Buffalo. Like I said, you gotta pay attention to the attributes. This is another fire target. If this card leaves the field, very good effect. You can discard 1 Cyberse, draw 2. So good card. 2 monsters left. We have Link Slayer, level 5. If you control no monsters, special summon this card. He's like your Twin Twister, pretty much. You can pitch 2 cards to the graveyard and then pop 2 back rows. So, and the last monster on the deck is Cyberse Gadget. This card, I always wanted to run at 2, but just for this specific one, I'll run at 1. If this card is normal summon, you can target 1 level 2 or lower monster in the graveyard, special summon. So it's like a Junk Synchron. So yeah, and also if this hits the grave, you get special summon a token. So very good. Alrighty, onto the spells. 2 copies of Sign and Optimize. Very good card. If this card is activated, you can normal summon an additional time for Cyberse monsters only. And also, if you attack with a Code Talker, your opponent cannot activate anything during the battle phase. So, very good spell. 3 copies of Signet Codet, best spell in the entire deck, in my opinion. A Code Talker is special summoned from the extra deck. Except during the damage step, you can target 1 of those monsters and add 1 Cyberse monster from your deck with the same attribute. So this is your extender. You summon a, pretty much for example, I'll just show you guys this. You summon this guy, you get to target it and add a light target. So yeah, very good card. It's your best spell of the deck. If you open up with that hand, you should be able to extra link. Easy. 1 copy of Signet Backdoor, just another searcher, just in case you don't run into the microcoder first turn. You can, this card says you can target 1 Cyberse monster you control, banish that target. And if you do, add 1 Cyberse from your deck to your hand whose attack is lower than its the monster's original attack. And then during your next standby phase, the monster that you banished, it comes back to the field and it can attack directly. So I banished one time, I banished Degradate Buster, and Degradate Buster came back, and then I can attack directly with 25. So, very good. Monster Reborn. 1-for-1. Like I said, you have a lot of level 1s in the decks. This is a staple. Foolish Burial. If you don't run into Code Generator, you can still go off of combos. Signet Mining. 1 copy is all you need. Searches out all your level 4s. Why not? Very underrated card. This card says you can target 1 Link 3 or Link monster you control in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, switch summon a Code Talker monster from your extra deck. And then if you control no monsters in your extra monster zone, you can target the banished card and switch summon it after you banish this card. So, very that was for the spells. Now we're already on to the traps. As you can see. So that was Recoded Alarm, 1 copy of that. 2 copies of Silent Conflict. This is your Omni Negate. This negates monsters, spells, and traps, and it also banishes them, and it stops you from using that affects the card's name until your opponent's next turn. So no Call by the Graves, no Ashes down, none of that. Just add this to the deck because I'm tired of getting my back row removed by other back row. So 3 copies of Heavy Storm Duster. This is optional, but I'm stuck running everybody else. And then finally, for the traps, 1 Horde of Heaven. Okay, that was the lineup. 52 cards. On to the extra deck. Okay. A lot of you guys will be like, wait a minute, why did you make your extra deck like that? You'll see. 1 copy of Lake Disciple. This is your starter. Most of the time, if you don't want to go into the Code Talkers or you have like a small hand, this lets you draw 2 by destroying 1 monster under it. So this combo with this, which is Link Devotee, and it just gets destroyed, attributed. You can just spell summon 2 tokens. So, but remember, when you start this combo, after this card is summoned, it locks you to only Link 2s for the rest of the turn. So just be aware of that. 1 Splash Mage. This goes a part of the Link 2 combos, and it's a very, very good extender. Target 1 Cybers monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense mission. Code Talker Inverted. Very good card. This card lets you special summon a Cybers monster next to its arrow. So you combo with this with a Silent Codet. And if you activate this and then activate this, you actually get to search first, then you special. So if you have a crappy monster in your hand, you can search out a light target like Lady Debug, and then special summon Lady Debug, and just continue with your combos. Proxy F Magician. This is the fusion monster of the deck. You use this card to fusion summon into this card. I don't use Cyber's Clock Dragon anymore because it takes up too much of the deck, so I use this guy now. Earth Golem at Ignister. He just takes 1 Cyber's monster, 1 Link monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Also, it gains double its original attack, so very good. And if it hits the grave, you can target Cybers in your graveyard. So special summon it. So very good. Security Dragon. Basic generic Link 2. You can use other monsters. It doesn't have to be Cybers. If this card is co-linked, you can return 1 monster to the hand if you target it. So it's like a Firewall Dragon, pretty much. Baby Firewall Dragon. Okay, and then we have 1 Link Karibo, of course, and on to the Link 3s after this one. Code Talker. This is the first card I always go into most of the time if I have a good hand. You go into Code Talker. This effect is pretty basic, but you just need it for the name, Code Talker. So it says gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. So you go into this card, and this is your starter play. So. Alright, now with these, now onto the Link 3s. 1 copy of Shooting Code Talker, 1 copy of X Code Talker, and 1 copy of Trans Code Talker. And to accompany the Code Talkers, we have 1 copy of Talkback Lancer. This is a monster reborn for Code Talkers. It says you can contribute 1 other Cybers monster, then target 1 Code Talker monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, this guy is your main Cybers, Link 3 pretty much, because he protects all your Code Talkers. And anyone who's co-linked to this cannot be targeted, and it also gives 500 attack points. And he also special summons a Link 3 or lower from the graveyard. This protects your Cybers monsters from being destroyed by card effects. It also gives them 500 attack points. This lets you attack multiple times, depending on the amount of cards the card points to. And also, any card the Shooting Code Talker destroys, you get to draw 1. And then finally, to finish the deck off, 1 Exceed, Firewall Exceed Dragon. If this card is points to a Link monster, it gains 500 attack points times the arrow of the Link monster. And you can attach to special summon Link 4. I actually don't run a Link 4 in this deck, so that's kind of weird, but whatever. And then the final card, Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. Since we are running an Exceed and a Fusion in the deck, this gives me 2 counters. So once I'm done with these plays and I finally want to bring out this bad boy, I get 2 counters and he gains 2,500 attack points times each counter. So that's 5,000 attack points added to his 3,000. And I can use those counters to negate monster effects. So, yeah. Quick note, guys, for the people who are wondering about the side deck. We have 1 copy of Deco Talker, 1 copy of Cyber's Quantum Dragon. Obviously, you have to add the Cyber Synchron in there if you do. 1 time passcode. Raster Liger for the Link 4. Clock Lizard if you want to go with the combo. And Cyber's Clock Dragon also. And 1 copy of Grid Rod. And my favorite Code Talker personally, but rarely ever use him, and Code Talker. This card is so broken because if you attack a monster, any type of monster, any attack points, you can pretty much not negate the attack, but you attack with another monster that this card points to, and that monster takes no battle damage. And then after the fact, it copies the attack points of the monster it just attacked and adds it to Code Talker. So this card can attack over anything as long as you have something pointed to Code Talker. Very broken effect. My favorite Code Talker by far. But it's a side deck, so it's up to you. Alright, that's the deck. If you guys enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. And if you guys want more Yu-Gi-Oh! Type videos, just let me know in the comments. And I'll make more. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while now. I love it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.